Chris Rock, Chris Christie, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Paul. It don't matter. Slavs in 7. And welcome back to episode 16 of the Watch Athlete podcast. And we're going to start off today with trashing on Chris Paul, the biggest fraud in the NBA. Point guard, he's not. They suck. The Suns folded. Justin,
point guard, more like point fraud.
Yeah, point fraud. Justin, what are your thoughts on the Suns? Because I know you were riding with them heavy.
Now, I'll say, yeah, great point. Let me just say, and if you're not plugged into the basketball world, just keep listening. You'll get all you need to know. I am more disappointed in the Sixers than I am in the Suns, and we will get to that because the Sixers don't look like they care. The Suns did look like they cared last night. They just looked like they were incapable of playing basketball, and they were like a middle school basketball team. Wow. So at least they showed heart, which the Sixers did not show any heart. But Chris Paul's heart is just not doing anything in the last 4 games. He was absolute dog. DeAndre Ayton got pulled because he apparently told the coach he didn't want to play anymore after they went down big.
What?
And yeah, it's like noted that like Monty Williams kind of like said, "Yo, Ayton, you want to like even play anymore? Like, do you even want to play?" And he was like, "Nah."
What? That's absolutely ridiculous.
So,
Like I said a couple weeks
but...
ago, as long as Chris Paul is on the Suns, they are never winning a championship.
Yeah, and they're not going to win a championship. And we're not going to get into it too much because it's like too nitty gritty for like just a regular episode over here. Maybe we'll talk about it on an extra cycle or something. But like, they're not going to get better next year. The rest, like the Memphis Grizzlies, are going to get better. The Golden State Warriors are going to get better. The Denver Nuggets are going to get better. That's not even counting some of the other teams.
76ers.
I have to imagine. The Pelicans are going to get better. The Mavericks are going to get better. Like
the Knicks are going to get better. No, they're not.
They might get better, but they're not still going to be better than the Suns. Good try though. But Jacob put that. Dude, Zion would have to wear
still going to be fat. I'm sorry.
He'd still have to wear a triple XL.
Still going to be fat.
Zion should be in the NFL.
Where are your teams, playoff wise?
We're in Cancun too.
No,
we're in Cancun 2 weeks ago.
We're all eliminated.
Yes, I can because I don't have a fat center that doesn't play.
You're a Knicks fan.
Y'all went to Cancun and then came back.
You're a Knicks fan, bro.
Yeah, I am. That's why I don't follow basketball.
They're more successful than the Pelicans. The Pelicans are like arguably the worst franchise to ever like in the NBA. I don't know if I can.
Aren't they also one of the newer franchises though?
I didn't.
Wait,
did
pause.
I
Jacob,
talk about
what?
What shirt are you wearing?
Oh, I'm a LeBron fan.
I didn't even notice that.
No, when we hopped on for our listeners before we hopped onto the pod, I had mentioned Jacob's shirt. I was like, Cleveland, this is for you. And I completely forgot we were talking about Jacob's Pelicans, and that
I'm a fan of LeBron.
He's wearing. I am too, but that doesn't matter. But what I am a fan of is the Phoenix Suns, and I am not happy with what I saw last night. Not because they didn't care, but like, I don't know. They just like. I don't even know how to perfectly describe it. It was just like they just played bad. Like they chose the worst time of the year to play their worst basketball, and they just couldn't do anything. They couldn't defend. They couldn't score. They had 27 points at halftime. Luka had 27.
Yeah,
it's really bad
at halftime.
Yeah,
and like Luka is absolutely that guy. So I'm not trying to be like, oh yeah, they got like. I'm not trying to like slander them for being beat by Luka. But they just sucked, like outright. It was just awful. And I was watching that game, and at a certain point, Jacob had called me. I was like, I'm not even mad because I'm like, they can't do anything. Like every single offensive possession looked hard. Every single defensive possession just looked like they couldn't even stop anyone. And I was just like, well, what do we do here? It's honestly probably the weirdest thing that's happened in the NBA in the last like 3 or 4 years in terms of result wise. Maybe not trade wise, but like in terms of like. The Memphis Grizzlies won a game this year by 73 points. And this was weirder than that, which is wild to say. Because like the game was, if you look at the box score, it was like 33 or 30 to end the game. It was worse than that. I think actually they lost by 35, but it was worse than that, trust me. There was a point where we were like pushing 50. I was like, oh, are the Mavericks going to be up by 50? And this is game 7 on the Suns' home court. When you're the significant team and you were in the NBA Finals last year, and it's not like the Mavericks have a stacked roster. Now, I think their roster has been underrated. Clearly, I think people have not given them the credit they deserve. But this isn't like a world beater roster. This isn't like you're going up against like I don't even know what the great example. It's not like you're going against the Brooklyn Nets in a Game 7 and you just kind of get destroyed. But
Raj,
yeah.
we can't see your phone.
Yeah, I know. It happens.
Like,
That was
I just found the picture. I think I found the episode cover picture where I say CP3 is a fraud. Booker didn't show up. Guess Elam Booker. Sorry.
yeah.
And this is from when they lost the chip last year.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no. It's been a good run. Like, I just don't. I'm already feel like I'm
completely giving up on them, haven't you?
I just I look around the league and this was their shot this year, and the league was still good this year, and this was their shot. And they had a good year this year. They won 64 games. They made the finals last year, took the Bucks to 6. But when you look at it, they were up 2-0 on the Bucks. They lost that series. They were up 2-0 on the Mavericks. They lost that series. Like, they had opportunities here to win an NBA championship and get to the final, to the conference finals this year, and they blew it. And like I said, I don't know really if it's going to get much better. I mean, I'm sure they'll have another run with Devin Booker on their team in the next 5 or so years, but DeAndre Ayton's a free agent. If him and Monty Williams got beef, I don't know if he's coming back. Chris Paul is just getting older. And Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson will get better, hopefully, but they might be close to their peak. Cam Johnson's pretty old. Mikal Bridges, second in Defensive Player of the Year this year. I don't know how much better those guys are going to get. So, yeah, it's disappointing because this is kind of like the last ride. This is I feel almost like this is the equivalent, not in necessary sense, but this is the equivalent of LeBron James in a sense where I'm is he going to get back to another finals? That road might be over. Yeah, Raj.
So how does the Suns losing that badly affect LeBron's legacy?
Anyway, moving on.
That is a great question. And you know what? I think because he's friends with Chris Paul and he was on the banana boat with them, it has a negative impact on him. There's no doubting that LeBron James is responsible for the Suns blowing the series.
Yeah, that's the reason why the Lakers weren't good. He was busy.
Jordan wasn't friends with people. You don't understand. Michael Jordan didn't have friends, so he could never negatively impact his friends. But LeBron is too nice. That's the problem here. So because LeBron has friends, he negatively impacts his friends because LeBron's non-clutchness and free throw problems just ooze over to his friends.
I have no clue what that was, but okay, moving on. Who do you guys think is going to be in the chip?
Celtics versus Warriors.
I mean, I hate to root for the Celtics because I'm not rooting for them, but I do think they're going to make the finals over Miami. They just seem like they're getting they're playing the best basketball that they've been playing at the right time. Almost like the inverse of the Suns, where the Suns were doing so well and then they just completely fell apart in the playoffs. Versus Boston, it's they were kind of a fringe playoff team for a little bit, but then they just started playing so well and
they weren't even a fringe playoff team. They were under 500.
Yeah, so they were not good, and then they just came all the way back, just storming up. Jason Tatum is incredibly good, and so yeah, I do agree with Jacob. Warriors versus Celtics, and I have a bad feeling the Celtics might beat the Warriors. But if I could root for anybody, I would root for Miami just because of the meme of Tyler Hero.
Please don't say you're rooting for Miami.
Dude, I just look, all right?
Tyler Hero is his dad, okay?
It's funny, okay? It's funny.
It's not funny.
The meme, okay? The song is funny. I like it. That's what I like. I root for Miami because they have good jerseys. I think Jimmy Butler is funny, and that song is.
We're not trying to get copyright.
Oh, Raj. Yeah. So that's my very intelligent opinion about basketball. If you couldn't tell, I'm an avid fan.
Just like I'm an avid LeBron hater.
Exactly.
Why
came out of nowhere?
Said that right when Jacob left.
Oh my god!
That would have started the whole MJ LeBron debate with you two.
Oh,
well, I believe LeBron's the GOAT. So
okay, never mind that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, everything I say about LeBron's sarcastic.
As much as I don't want to see the Heat go to the finals after what they did to the Sixers, I think the Heat might beat the Celtics.
And you have coming out the West.
The West, I'm rooting for Luka, but the Warriors are gonna pull it out. Their trio of light skinned point guards are unstoppable at the moment.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Who is going to stop Poole, Curry, and Klay Thompson? And then you got Draymond Green playing decent basketball at age, 45 now?
45.
Dude, they brought
45.
Andre Iguodala back from the dead.
Dude, him dunking the basketball in the playoffs was probably one of the most, like, out-of-body experiences seeing that happen again. It was like, did this dude just, like, come out of the Lazarus pit? Like, how old is he?
No, when Dirk was playing his final years in Dallas, you would see him do like anything like semi-athletic, and you would just be like, "How? How did he pull this off?" So it's crazy. No, I got Warriors and Celtics. I'm really not high on this Warriors team, but they're just simply better than the Mavericks. I hate always like I'm one of these people, and I think it ends up like always like working in my favor. Like I think I'm usually like right on it, but like. The Suns are a better team than the Mavericks. Like the Mavericks simply just like got them at the end of the day. Like the Suns played some bad basketball. If you replay that series 100 times, I'm sure the Suns win like 90 of them. Just like the 10% chance it happens sometimes. So I don't think they're not a better roster than the Warriors, and I don't think they're going to beat them again. And the Warriors got enough defensive personnel that they can move around with Luka, and simply like they diving into a little bit more basketball like analytics and diving into a little bit more basketball, like play style. Like the Phoenix Suns were pretty willing to like do one-on-one coverage with Luka, and if he scored in isolation, that was fine. And they were able to hide him on defense by playing, like kind of dropping him into like his own personal zone and just having him cover ground and like free space. But like the Warriors play such a fast movement style of offense that like Luka is going to have to chase someone around the court, and that's going to either be if he's guarding Draymond, let's say. Then he might not have to chase him around, but they're probably going to set screens to get him off. So he's going to spend part of games chasing either Klay, Curry, or Poole, and it's going to get him very tired. And Luka's a little pudgy. Not saying he's fat, but like he's just a pudgier guy, just how his build is. I don't see him running around the court, so they're going to try to get as many switches onto other smaller guards just to wear him out. And I think over time that's going to take his legs out, and he's not going to be able to shoot as well from three. I mean, some of the shots he was hitting in Game 7 were heavily contested, but like. He just had the will to get it up, but I think as the series draws on, he's not going to be able to do it. So I'm not a big Warriors guy, but I think they are better than Mavericks. I'll say Warriors in 6. I want to say Warriors in 7, but I don't think I'll go that far. Warriors in 6, and then I'll go Celtics in 5. I do not think there's not one aspect of basketball where I think the Miami Heat are better. Then
the police are coming to arrest you for your take right now.
They are. They are coming to arrest me. Shout out Pittsburgh cops.
Take so heinous it was a crime.
Literally. Oh, there's the fire truck. It was a flaming hot take. They gotta get in there.
Listen, that was perfect. But no, I don't think the Miami Heat do anything on the basketball court better than the Celtics do. Maybe except just being like feisty and annoying. But, like, other than that, like, the Celtics have better forward play. The Celtics have probably better guard play. And the Celtics have front court play that can match Bam. So, I don't, like, Jimmy Butler is going to have 4 guys that can defend him on a night. Bam's going to have 0 offense. Bam probably won't even look at the basket for the entire series. Kyle Lowry's dump truck's been hurting his hamstring or something. So, like, he can't. I'm not even sure Buddy can move anymore. Tyler Hero has a cool song about him, but otherwise he didn't shoot that well against the Sixers, so I'm not sure he's going to shoot that well against the defensive player of the year and Marcus Smart. So I look at that series and I don't – there's not anything that the Heat have done that really convinced me they're better than the Celtics. I said to Jacob, whichever team won the Bucks and Celtics series would win the NBA Finals, and the Celtics are going to win the NBA Finals, and I don't think it will be particularly close.
Well, let's not forget when you were bagging on Jimmy Butler for not being good, he gave – the Sixers like 45.
Yeah, because the Sixers were worse. If we want to talk about the Sixers real quick, we haven't talked about it on the podcast. My God, they're trash. They're trash. We won the series was 2-2. We were down 2-0. I was like, sure, we're toast. Like we're gonna go down 3-1 and we'll either lose in 5 or maybe lose in 6. But it'll not. The series was 2-2. We had come back and then we played like dog in Miami, and then we came home and we played worse. As is after Joel Embiid was on the post-game press conference saying, oh, yeah, we're going back to – I'm not really worried about this blowout game. We're going back to Philly. Like, they'll see us in Philly. And they lost. Oh, my God. Like, what a terrible performance. I've never been so disappointed in a team before.
Well, you know what happens with all Philly sports teams. every season we do well in the regular season, then we make the playoffs, and then it's just disappointment.
I would say it's all Philly sports. I mean, the Eagles won a Super Bowl 5 years ago. Well, 4 years ago. This will be the 5th year coming
And then
up.
every other season we made the playoffs. Disappointment.
Well, yeah. To be fair, though, a lot of football teams don't win. Like the amount
That's
of franchises that actually win championships are like is quite low. Like anytime you can win a championship, it's really big for your organization and like whatnot. So, yeah, I'm not too mad about always making the playoffs. Like I think the Sixers are kind of stuck in this rut right now, where like it's really good for the organization to be making the playoffs because you host playoff games, you make a ton of money. Like people come near. Almost all the Sixers games are like sold out or nearly sold out because people go to them. And it's a great time. It's a great time and a moneymaker for the organization, but they're just simply like not good enough to make the finals.
We are the Bills of the NBA.
We kind of.
I wouldn't even say Bills at that point. Like,
yeah. Because like the
low key, the
is the
Cowboys.
roster good enough to be the
Low
what about
key.
the
low key, yeah.
Suns? Would the Suns be a good? Would the Suns? Yeah. Would the Suns come?
What about the like? What's the
Okay.
Suns comp?
Okay.
The Suns are like the Chiefs.
Yeah. That's
Right
see that.
now, but like they might like. I don't know. The Chiefs are going to be better this year than the Suns will next year, but
Yes, let's
But yeah,
make a
it's
comparison.
kind of hard to
of
do
two
comps
different
because you're
sports.
playing like one person. Yeah, because one person can win you NBA games, and football is like the ultimate team sport. So like, it's very different. But yeah, no. What are your guys' other takes about what's been happening around the NBA?
Chris Paul is a fraud. He will never win a chip. I hate Chris Paul. I hate Chris Middleton. I just hate them
Okay,
both.
Why
so
do you hate
much.
Chris Middleton?
He hates Chris Middleton
literally it.
because he thinks Chris Middleton is ugly. That is why he hates him. That's
Listen,
the only reason.
Listen, when we
I
were
mean, he's
watching,
not an attractive guy, but like,
But
you don't
like,
have to hate
again,
him.
he just
He's so
hates the
bad.
person because of how they look. Like, are you kidding me?
no, okay, hear me out. When we were watching the
What do you
NBA
mean, hear me
playoffs, when we were watching the NBA playoffs during the bubble, I was riding with the Heat at one point, and every time I saw Chris,
Why do you keep riding with the Heat?
listen?
I hate the Heat.
Okay, whatever. The Sixers, I knew the Sixers were gonna choke anyways, but whatever. But at that point, I was riding with the Heat, for a little bit. And when they were playing the Bucks, I see Chris Middleton, and every time he'd make a shot, they would just cut to his face, and I'd just go, "I hate this dude so much."
But again, the reason why you hate him is not because of how he plays basketball. You even admitted that during the Bucks series, that when Chris Middleton was playing, that like if he was playing, the Bucks probably would have won that series against the Celtics. And you
It's
just
just
go,
so bad.
but I can't support it because he's ugly.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Chris Middleton, if you're listening to this, please don't take anything I say to heart because I don't want a DM from an NBA player just to get
Are you kidding
exposed.
me? That would be
If you saw
amazing.
this,
Yeah, you got a DM from Chris Middleton that he
Actually,
listened to
Let
this.
me rephrase. Chris Middleton, if you see this, you can send me your jersey and I'll
also, what
start
do you mean
liking you
again?
again,
When did
okay?
you ever like Chris Middleton?
No, you got to double down on it. You got to keep doubling down.
Never.
You liked him when he was playing for the G League, G League. Oh, he was not on. I think he played
What
on the
about
G League Pistons.
Patrick
I think that's where
Beverley?
he played. But
Damn,
No,
I forgot the
Beverley.
Pistons were a team. Pat Bev.
What is he
What?
like?
You mean the dude
what
who
does
should
he
wear
have wrong
he should
with
wear black
Chris
Air
Paul?
Forces
he is
to
been
basketball games from
hating
now
on
on?
Chris Paul.
okay, this opens up a broader conversation about like the sports coverage because I think we've seen some of the worst sports coverage and some of the best sports coverage in like the recent this recent couple of months. So like JJ Redick, former Sixer, great guy, has joined like ESPN and he's been like absolutely killing it because he's just like he's just like laid it out onto some of these like old heads and like idiots who are like covering the game. Like some guy was like talking about his name is Mad Dog on ESPN. I don't know what the hell that's about. His name's Chris, but
Oh God, Chris Coward.
No. It's
No,
like
that's
a
Colin
different. It's like
Howard.
Mad Dog. It's like a whole thing.
yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, Mad Dog was saying how Bob Cousy was
I've
better than
seen
Chris
this.
Paul. Whatever. Then what is it? JJ Redick was out there being like, yeah, JJ Redick's like, yeah, because Bob Cousy played with because he played with plumbers and electricians or whatever, like mailmen and
carpenters,
mailmen. Yeah, it was like ridiculous. It was so funny and so true. But then also he called Mad Dog like the Fox
Oh
Sports
my-
because they were talking about
That is
how
hilarious.
players shouldn't have a voice,
Yes.
and he goes, "Yeah, you're trying to do what Fox News does and spreading that kind of propaganda." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, no, he went for his throat on that one. He was saying, what was the line? It was like, I don't like what was the word he said? It was like,
Discourse?
basically, I don't like the implication, or like something like that, where it's like, of like what you're saying right now. Because it's like, you're only saying this to a specific group of players that you're saying shouldn't be talking right now. It's like, seems like you have another agenda there.
Yeah, it was. So he's been killing it. I think. Okay. His name's Chris Russo. For people interested, you can look him up. He goes by Mad Dog on ESPN. Why Mad Dog? I don't know. Don't ask me. And so Mad Dog was talking about how Draymond Green, who has a podcast, and he like kind of goes on his podcast after basketball games. It's kind of weird, but like whatever. And he was talking about, and Mad Dog was like not being like he shouldn't do that. And then he called out this guy, and he pretty much compared Mad Dog to the way Fox News talks about athletes. But just the way he said it, like, on air on ESPN was just, like, so directly, like, calling out Fox News and pretty much calling, like, this guy just, like, completely, like, you're just trying to devalue athletes. And it was really funny and kind of true, too. Actually very true. But no, JJ Redick's been doing good. Some of the basketball world, like, Pat Beverly, whatever he was on today, like, I don't necessarily disagree with some of the things he said, but the way you go about saying that, like, they talked about earlier this year how, like, Dylan Brooks, like, broke the code. I don't know what the hell the code is, but broke the code when he, like, hit Gary Payton II on the head on a foul. That was really aggressive. Everyone's like, oh, he broke the code. Pat Beverly's out there saying that people aren't scared of Chris Paul, that he should deserve Ben Simmons-type slander, and all these things. It's like, what? Like, that's breaking the NBA code. Like, no one should be getting Ben Simmons type slander, and you're pretty much just like, Chris Paul deserves that. And he's like, Chris Paul, they're not scared of him on defense, which I agree with, but like, you don't need to be an ass about it. Like, and like, it's all just amplified by the fact that Patrick Beverly's ass is home. He went home in the first round, and they had 20-point leads multiple games where they could have easily beat the Memphis Grizzlies in advance. Instead, they didn't. So Pat Bev is sitting back who left one round sooner than the Phoenix Suns, and is like, Chris Paul, terrible. Which, like, I have no problem with role players, like, talking about the game. They know so much more basketball than any of us know about, but, like, he was just being, like, actively disrespectful and not, like, putting any analysis into it. So, the sports media is
Chris Paul. So it seems like he's hated Chris Paul for, like, a minute now. And it doesn't seem like there's any legitimate reason for why he's hating on him so much. I think it's just...
Oh, it's totally because Chris Paul's, like, savvy and he, like, baits fouls and stuff like that. So pisses Pat Bev off because Pat Bev's one of those guys who, like, fights through every play, super, like, hard-nosed, like, and whatnot. So it just doesn't appreciate that stuff.
Are people really scared about Pat Bev offensively?
No, but the problem is and this is part of the problem with athletes, if he responds, then clearly something that Pat Bev said got to him. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. It's like, you can say whatever the hell you want, but once people respond, they're willing to call you out.
Exactly.
Like, this is why KD gets so much slander, because KD responds to his haters sometimes. And
his burner.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then people are like, wait, hold on. You shouldn't be responding. You're a pro athlete. So, like, if you're Chris Paul, you can't respond because clearly something he said bothers you.
Yeah. And also, I will say, like, of all people where it's like, oh, he broke the code, whatever, and then Pat Bev is out here talking like, oh, yeah, like, everybody should listen to me on what I have to say. It's like, bro, you are, like, ready to throw haymakers at any point during a basketball game. Like, don't even be acting like you're you're this, like, messiah where it's like, oh, I know exactly what should be going on in a basketball game. It's like, don't get me wrong, he's a great hard-nosed defender. Like, and again, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but from what I can gather, the things that I have seen Pat Bev do, this dude is an absolute menace. Like, both on and off the basketball court. like Raj was alluding to earlier at one point, that guy should walk into every single basketball game with black Air Force Ones on at all times, just to let everybody in there know exactly the type of player that he is. He does not care about anybody's opinion. He's going to get that basketball whether you like it or not.
Yeah, it's just baffling to me that you would go on air today
And wasn't
use that
Chris
time
Paul
to just
former,
tear someone down as
president
much as
of
you
the
did.
Players
Exactly.
Association? That's
Oh
wild.
my god, it's
Yep.
fighting for the players' rights. Nope. He deserves Ben Simmons type slander because Ben Simmons literally hasn't played basketball in like over a year and is getting paid like millions of dollars. And he still has to go to surgery
Mance just
again.
blindly robbed 2 NBA teams, and all he did was just sit.
Do you guys think if we really tried that we could put together film like Ben Simmons and then bait an NBA team into drafting somebody? Do you think that's possible?
I'm not sure if we could draft ourselves, but we could get pretty close.
Not us. But like I'm saying, like if we find like a decent basketball player and like try and like make the film look as accurate as possible to Ben Simmons, if a team would take the bait, essentially.
Yeah, maybe it would be tough. The public would totally take the bait. Like you see one guy do something cool on a basketball court, and they're like, "Oh man!" Like Zion was a good player in high school, but like Zion got so much more hype because of his amazing dunks and whatnot. And like social media just has a huge impact on sports. I mean, it has a huge impact on everything, but like sports specifically, like you put a highlight reel out and people see you jumping out the gym or splashing threes. And like when Ben Simmons makes a three, yeah, it looks pretty good. But you know what? When he bricks the other 20 or doesn't shoot them, it doesn't show up on film.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think I've seen him take more than 2 threes in my life. And one of them...
Yeah, he's only made 4 in the league.
That was the one thing. It was like... I vividly remember this one clip that like it was either SportsCenter or ESPN or somebody posted it like one year, and it was Ben Simmons shooting a 3, hitting it, and the announcer goes, "Now they'll finally stop getting mad at him," and he like never took a 3 again, never shot. And
it seems like this is a Bishop's.
That's cool. Just take one shot that is like
a fake like player or team to just try and fool the public. Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm thinking.
You want to make a Bishop Sycamore basketball team?
Yo. I mean, they could play against Pitt.
I'm trying to go play Gonzaga or something right now.
I'm trying to go play Gonzaga.
Yo, Drew Timmy got nothing on my drive.
I don't think Drew Timmy will be there anymore.
Rats.
But no, yeah, the NBA has been very interesting. We haven't talked about it much, but yeah, so we got Raj going Heat. So just go through who you taking in the finals.
Wow, okay.
Heat Warriors.
How many games?
Heat Warriors in 6.
I want the Warriors to win, which is kind of surprising, considering, But even it's just
it's not
a weird
surprising at all.
change from me. Like
everyone just hates Boston. It's fine.
I could not be less shocked that you want the Warriors to win.
Probably. I also just didn't want the Warriors to win because they had like all the 4 superstars. But
well, it's more like you're rooting for LeBron.
3 plus Draymond. 3 plus Draymond. And it was really quite Curry and KD.
Did you just call Draymond Green a superstar?
Probably Celtics in 6. I think that's what's going to happen. Oh no!
Breaking news, folks. Jacob thinks Draymond Green is a superstar.
That was the most hollow response. Oh my god. Okay. So I'll go through mine very quickly. Warriors, Celtics in 6. I would agree with Jacob.
Warriors, Celtics in 5.
Damn.
I'll differentiate from the past. 6 feels so easy. I know a lot of series do end in 6, but like 6 just feels always too easy. It's like, one team's better than the other, but I'll give the other one at least a couple games. So it's in 6.
Yeah.
Like a ton of series. Like probably like most of the series I've predicted this playoff cycle have been like this team in 6.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Celtics. I'm rooting for the Celtics, which is strange being a Sixers fan. But like I like the best team to win by the end of the year. I don't like crazy upsets. Like the Boston Celtics have been playing the best basketball. Well, the Bucks were, and then Chris Middleton got hurt.
That.
But out of the teams left, the Boston Celtics deserve to win the NBA championship the most, in my opinion.
I'm not the fact that he's rooting for the Celtics, but he said that he wants the best team.
What are you going to do about
the team that should win to win? So I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, if the Celtics start to fold in the Miami series, and I see that Miami is the better team, then Miami wins, and I'll be like, actually, no, I hate Miami, but but if the Mavericks play really good basketball for the rest of the way and win the finals, then like I'll be like, yeah, I'm glad the best team won, but I do think the Celtics are the best team.
You really hate
by far, and
you're rooting for the best team to win, except for the Heat.
Well, the Heat aren't the best team; they're like the fourth best team in the league.
God. But what if they are?
What? They're just not.
But you can't just say they're not. Like, what if they end up being the best team?
Listen, I don't think you understand. The Heat are not like that.
Oh my God!
But if they did actually win and they won so dominantly, like I'd give them my flowers. But also, I have reasons. I don't know. Ime Udoka is assistant coach of the Sixers. He's coaching the Boston Celtics, and people were like questioning if he would get fired by the All-Star break because they were playing so bad. Yeah, so to see him turn around this team, seeing him turn this team around has been absolutely awesome. Oh, take the Miami Vice. Jersey's fake.
So crazy.
But but Ime Udoka, Al Horford's a former Sixer who got screwed over by the roster construction and fight, but I appreciated the time he was there. Except when his wife called out the Sixers organization, that wasn't fun. But yeah, Celtics good team. Sixers should have drafted Tatum. So.
Oh, that's hard. That's really hard.
It's really tough. Imagine a world where you would have had like Ben Simmons, JJ Redick. Let's just say you still would have gotten Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid.
Dude, I think if you guys had Jimmy still, like, as much as you hate Jimmy buckets, you guys would be a lot.
No, I don't hate Jimmy Butler. I just think he's overrated as a star, and he did play really well in that Sixers series, so I will give him my flowers there. But like, he's just one of those players that like he's very like not good in like. Okay, this is kind of how I feel about Luka a little bit. Luka's better than Jimmy Butler, obviously, and Luka's still like a great player in the NBA. But like Luka didn't do like he wasn't like that for most of the regular season, and then he comes back in the playoffs and he's playing really well. I mean, he was like he was fourth on my MVP ballot, I think, for what he did in the second half of the year. But like, you do lose a little bit of points. Like Jimmy Butler wasn't really like that in the regular season. So like, I don't like players who are just like don't really play the regular season and they're just like, okay, cool, the postseason's here, I'll try now. I guess they still got the 1 seed, so that logic falls off a little bit, but but also the East was an absolute bloodbath. But like, that's why I appreciate the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns won out. They were the best team in the league. They played like the best team in the league. They won 64 regular season games. No one was even close. They had injuries and health and safety protocols left and right, and they still won 64 games. Honestly, if that team stays healthy, they probably win 70 games. So, yeah, that's my basketball.
Too bad Chris Paul's on that team.
Yeah,
I am. Too bad. Be so much better if,
ever since he wore that outfit.
If Patrick Beverly was there, I'm sure they would have won in 4.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They definitely would have won.
He would have clamped Luka.
Absolute
prison.
Would have like shot him or something in the middle of the game.
That is without a doubt.
It's like the Marcus Smart foul where he like flops like crazy and it's like the sniper in the background.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so good.
No. If you haven't, for anyone watching, look up Dylan Brooks flop Oregon on like YouTube. There's this thing of him flopping at college. He played for Oregon, and my man's is flying for no reason. He's like 5 feet up. He hit the ground hard, and I was like,
so he's selling the bit. Like,
flagrant too.
Yeah, he sold it, and hey, cheers to Dylan Brooks.
Cheers to Dylan Brooks. Hey, cheers. Yeah, jeez. I mean, basketball's just been like crazy. Like, I feel like sports have been just like crazy lately. like I know like no one really here like follows hockey that much, but like at least here in Pittsburgh, the Penguins series versus the Rangers was insane. Like
Was it?
the Penguins had a 3-1 series lead at one point. They beat the Rangers. They put 7 goals up against the Rangers twice in the series. They went into triple overtime in another game and won that in Madison Square Garden. And they lost the series to the Rangers in overtime in Game 7. That was probably one of like the dumbest things I have ever seen. They had all of the momentum, and they just lost.
Pittsburgh moment.
I don't know how. I know there was some like injury on like Crosby. I think it was like a cross check. It was like a cheap shot or something. But he was playing. Like in Game 7, arguably one of the greatest hockey players of all time was playing. They had everybody back, and they just lost to the Rangers. And it was just like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. Like, moving on. And now the city of Pittsburgh was so depressed last night. It was absurd. It was so weird. Oh my god.
No, it's just that's crazy that I don't even know. Like I don't follow hockey like that. So like unless of course it was the Flyers, but like the fact that they got absolutely bodied that series. Well, they were bodying and then they got bodied, and that was like a crazy thing. And I literally had no idea.
That's
I didn't even know.
You'll never hear anything.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know the playoffs were happening.
Exactly. Like no one. Like I didn't know that was happening until like I saw like one of the highlights on my Instagram feed of a dude like kick flipping a puck like into the air and like smacking it back like around the goal. It was one of the greatest goals I've ever seen, and it was like, oh yeah, this is just happening right now. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
How do I not know about this? And it's like, oh yeah, this is Game 7 of one of the most intense series like ever. It's like, oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not gonna watch it because I didn't even know this was happening. But that's cool.
Also, another note in the sports world: the Reds threw a no-hitter against the Pirates and lost.
Wait,
What?
Hold the wait.
Did you guys not hear about this?
No.
That's good.
How do you?
Because I think they walked 4 batters, and they never scored a run the entire game, so they lost 1-0.
The Pirates won a game?
No, the Reds are worse this year. The last time I had checked, the Reds were like 4-23 when I had come back to Pittsburgh, and they played some more games. So they probably only have like at least 6 wins on the season. But no, yeah, the Reds.
That might be the most pathetic thing I've ever heard of.
Oh, I know. There was not one hit that entire game. Now I don't know if it was 4. Like I'm guessing it was 4 walks, but like I don't know like the actual specifics. But like, yeah, they lost 1-0 against the Pirates in a game where they threw a no hitter. Not one person hit the ball and got on base.
Dude, I would want a refund after that game. That would be the most boring game of baseball.
Well, actually, it's a pitching clinic. Either way you look at it, like no one scored.
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
No one scored except for the 4 walks. But but no, it's very. Or maybe a steal happened. Maybe they didn't have to walk 4 batters.
The other one steal every single base.
I was talking to my dad about this. Like, what do you say? Like, if you're the manager of a baseball team, for both teams even, what do you say after the game? Like, what if you're the Pirates manager? What do you say? Like, well, guys, good job, we won the game. It's like you didn't hit the ball once. Like, then it's like you could be like pitcher, you did really well today. But the Reds also suck. And if you're the Reds coach, like batters, we couldn't get 1 run in the entire game.
Exactly. It's like our pitcher literally threw a no hitter.
Wait, so that means both teams threw a no hitter.
Right? No. They could have hits.
Oh, okay. So
but they just didn't score.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was. I saw it come across, and I was like,
also in the sports.
That's not real, is it? And it's just funny that it's the Pirates who are historically bad at baseball, and the Reds who have been
Liverpool and
garbage
Chelsea
all
just
year.
played in the FA Cup final, and Liverpool they won 6. Yes.
Liverpool won.
Oh
Okay. You need to stop this
boys
sentence
won.
right where you're
I was
going.
happy about
Because
one.
the fact that you posted Liverpool on your story instead of Kenny Pickett getting drafted to the Steelers, that was the most disrespectful thing I have ever seen.
It's more disrespectful than Pat Bev.
That is so
disrespectful. Just so happens that
you've been a Liverpool fan for like
Chelsea
2
and
weeks.
played in another cup final, and Chelsea also lost 6-5 in penalties. So it's been a tough week for Chelsea fans. On top of that, the Premier League is about to finish up, and it's a really tight race. Liverpool has a chance to win the Premier League, but it looks like Man City might take it. If Man City either loses or ties, I think Liverpool has to win by a significant margin. Liverpool could win the Premier League, and then if they win the Champions League, they could win the quadruple. So that would be crazy. I'm not. I'm new to this. I'm new to soccer because Liverpool is my team. Liverpool is my team. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a real big Liverpool fan, huh?
I'm a Liverpool
Then
fan.
why
because
did you
I chose
post them on
Chelsea.
your story?
I chose Chelsea.
Your team.
Now let me explain. Let me explain what happened. Let me explain what
So
happened.
not
No.
only are you a
I
Bama
had a
fan, but
friend,
you're a Liverpool
when I
fan.
was-
Seems a
my
little
best friend
convenient.
When I was younger,
It
when
seems
I
a
lived
little
in Pennsylvania,
convenient. Granted,
he was a
both those
Chelsea
teams
fan.
are like really
So,
dominant in their
because of
sport.
that, I was.
I'm not
going
going to call you a
choose
front
Chelsea.
runner, but
Then
I'm gonna call you a front
runner. Chelsea's apparently just like not a very is a very much so like hated team and not a good team to be rooting for, especially nowadays for whatever reason. So I was like, okay, never mind then. I then recalled that a couple years back, my aunt had told me that she and my uncle were Liverpool fans, so I chose Liverpool. That's it. Yeah. Because I wasn't into soccer. I just didn't pay attention to soccer.
A couple years back.
It really is.
But you didn't post
No,
about
not
Liverpool
It
anytime.
really
since...
is.
I know what
No,
Rob
I've
did.
been a
It's just
Pelicans
funny
fan for a
that like
while.
once
There
you
just
started
hasn't been
following
anything
soccer,
to root
it was
for.
like
What am I gonna
conveniently
root for?
Liverpool won the championship
we got
that year.
what am I going to root for? Like, you're a Knicks fan.
that's not a tough one for you.
And you started really getting into basketball once the
That's 'cause it's a
Pelicans
cool
started
jersey,
to
and
get good.
Dwayne Wade's a great player. So there was a great player when he was in the
Bro,
NBA.
you're literally wearing a Miami jersey.
Peter, you can't tell me that you wouldn't want to get a. If
You
were to get a
are
jersey,
wearing
you'd
a
get
Miami Heat jersey.
Okay, are you a Portland Trailblazer? Are you a Trailblazers fan? Are you a Trailblazers fan?
Now he owns. Now he's a part owner of the Utah.
I would say
I have a Damian Lillard
I would say
jersey in that closet right now, okay? Because he is an awesome player. I don't claim to actually follow the NBA either. Absolutely not.
Oh, I thought you were going to say absolutely. I was like, hell
No,
yeah.
they're horrible. They're so bad. And Damian
Hey,
Lillard's
they
like,
went to the West- they went to the West-
he's so loyal to his
they
team.
came
That
really,
team has
really
been
close,
terrible
but they
to him
couldn't
for
shoot.
years.
He went to the Western Conference Finals one year. That was cool.
Yeah,
Game
1
7,
year.
but, like,
They got
they
smoked by
could've
the
made it if
Rockets,
they
I
just
think, but I don't even
either
remember.
stop shooting threes.
No, it was the Warriors.
The
Yeah.
Warriors? Why am I
Rockets
not
haven't made the
surprised?
finals.
Oh no! Because Raj said the Rockets have.
It wasn't really that close. They were like,
Like they have, but it's been a while. But Raj, did you not say?
are you
that?
talking about the Rockets? Oh, I thought you were talking about the
Raj, did you
Trailblazers.
not say the Rockets have?
Why did we stop talking about the Rockets?
Yeah, I'm saying they got really, really close.
They made the finals.
We're not talking about the finals.
Yeah, well, yeah, it has because they made the finals with Hakeem.
I'm talking about like in recent years. I don't know anything about the NBA. Yeah, I don't know about anything about the NBA.
Why are we having
back
so
to-
many different
from, like,
conversations?
2010?
What is happening?
I don't know anymore.
What is happening?
Yes, the Rockets did get close, and they shot a historic 0 of 23 They missed like 22 straight 3-point shots and lost that game.
Oh,
by
yeah.
like 5.
Sounds like James Harden likes to carry that legacy on.
Actually, no, it was Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza was worse. I can't.
Oh, God.
Trevor Ariza was so dog in that series. Like that was awful. Not a dog, but just dog. But
Very, very different.
That
When
is
someone
yeah.
goes DOG versus DAWG.
yes, exactly. But I guess we'll just do another sports update that no one cares about. But another high schooler ran sub-4 in the mile, becoming the 14th high schooler ever to run sub-4 in the mile, which is baffling. He just like ran it on some like random like Pennsylvania track. He ran it all by himself, no pacers, just absolutely nuts. And I'm always looking at him like that kid is two, maybe 3 years younger than me, and he's far more successful than I'll ever be in the running world. Like the fact that high school athletes can go like straight to the league and stuff is just absolutely the amount of talent you have to have is just out of this world. I didn't even like know proper like training for running or like any proper training for anything until I started like getting older and like looking into it more. I'm like, there are kids out here running sub 4 miles. There are kids out here like going right to the G League. Like not James Wiseman, but like Jonathan Kuminga, who plays for the Warriors right now. He went right from high school into the G League for a year and then like, in the NBA now. Like the fact that people are so talented in high school to like do pro, and 18-year-old Arian Knighton just ran the fourth fastest 200-meter time ever. Is on track to like go like Usain Bolt style, and he's 18 years old in high school.
A Sugar Bowl meet,
and it's just
for
the fact that high school athletes can just do any of this kind of stuff is
schools from all across
absurd.
Like, southern states like Alabama, Mississippi.
It makes me feel really bad.
A lot of
states, they'd come to New Orleans for it, and like there would be people running the 400 like well under 50 seconds, and like. Not only can I not sustain that speed, I can't run fast enough to get up to that speed, so I can't sustain it in the first place. Yeah, like it's absolutely wild what some high school athletes can do. Like watching like Matt Bowling, like when he was running and like he like got all that media attention, like he was going absolutely insane. Like
in a dead sprint.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, and it's funny, especially in the distance world, like you'll see people like running sub 4 minute miles. Like I can barely run that speed for like one lap,
like, per lap.
So like I could like realistically hang with them for like maybe 500 meters if I was lucky.
Is absolutely ridiculous.
So the fact that people just do that is just absurd. I don't know. It's strange. Hmm.
Well, in another sports update, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to talk about curling.
Well, in another sports update, Rajon Rondo allegedly threatened a woman with a gun at her house last week. Just now.
There's been so many athletes like recently that have had controversies. Like these recent strings are just actually ridiculous. Like I mean, this is Rajon Rondo. There's Jerry Jeudy. There's I don't even know if I can name them all. There's been a ton of athletes recently
Alvin
getting
Kamara.
And it started the year with like Henry.
Totally
Ruggs.
Forgot about Alvin Kamara. He assaulted somebody after the Pro Bowl, and then everybody stopped talking about it.
Yeah, because the Super Bowl happened.
Yeah, and then it's just like
the best time to commit a felony is in football world is between like the biggest event of the year.
Well, might as well plug NFL memes once again.
Yes,
the U.S. penitentiary system has a better wide receiver core than the Chicago Bears.
Which they're not wrong.
I'm pretty sure
honestly has a better receiving core than a lot of teams in the league.
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy's a solid wide receiver.
That prison league go crazy.
I don't want to hear one thing about Bama.
Deshaun Watson at QB.
Oh, that.
You want me to take it?
Yeah, because isn't there that picture of? It's like Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy,
Devontae Smith, and Jalen
Waddle. It's like two of them are in the penitentiary thing. Yeah, the two of them have the NFL jerseys on. It's like and then it's
Jerry
like Thanos, like
Henry Ruggs, Devontae Smith's freshman year. There was another Bama wide receiver
go ahead.
on that team that's in the NFL right now. Take a guess. No, he's on the Atlanta Falcons. Calvin Ridley. So
I guess where he is now. Prison.
Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley?
Oh yeah. At least Calvin Ridley like placed a sports bet. Like that, I can forgive that.
Can
I
we
can't.
find out what he bet on? I want to know what the bet was.
The Falcons going 0-17.
It was a parlay. Like it was like it was a team in the parlay that he had picked was the Falcons. I just don't know how someone gets 16 games for that. That just feels like
I get that it's the integrity of the game, whatever. But why is it that
you can also
when somebody has a parlay and includes their team in it, where they're not even playing on the team, they get 16 games. It's basically an indefinite suspension. We don't know really when he's going to come back. It's we know it's this season, but after that,
he's out all season.
It's this entire season, but it might be more than that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If assaulters and perpetrators got 3-4 years, listen, I'd be fine with the league suspending Calvin Ridley for a year. But you got guys who are like Deshaun Watson. If the league decides to crack down on it, which again we didn't get charged in any civil suits for it, we don't know where that's all going, and I don't know what the story is.
He didn't get charged in a legal suit. I don't know about civil though. That might be a
civil might be different, but he's not getting charged by the grand jury or anything. But so I'm not gonna comment on what his case out looks like. But the league decides to do something about it. He's probably gonna get a 4 to 6 game kind of suspension.
Which is insane.
Yeah, when Calvin Ridley placed a little bit of money on a team he wasn't playing for. And I understand it's he still gambled on a team he was a part of, but he wasn't playing.
Exactly.
But also, I don't know. I hate to see very talented athletes get in their own way. And it really just sucks to see, because when you see these things, it's very self-destructive, mental health type behaviors, because it's just when you see someone like Henry Ruggs, who has a ton of money in the world, who is DUI and then kills someone, it's just you got in your own way. And when you see someone like a Rajon Rondo, who apparently threatened his ex-wife at the time, wife at the time at gunpoint, it's what are you doing? It's not you're making a rational decision and something went wrong. Jerry Jeudy's situation's a little bit different. He didn't commit any direct felonies. He just might have aided or embedded. But which is not great, but it's just I hate seeing athletes do this to themselves, because it not only does it suck for the fans, but it sucks for them in their life, and they screw up.
Yeah, I think another player like that is, as sad as it is, it's Antonio Brown. That dude was on top of the world. And I know, Jacob, I'm not even actually gonna be mean about this one, solely because he was the best receiver in the league. Still to this day, he has some of the best footwork on routes I have ever seen. And he was so unbelievably talented. And then he just threw all of that away. And that could have been due to mental health issues. It could have been due to CTE, where he was getting headhunted by Vontaze Burfict. This could have been a whole laundry list of things going on. But it really is just sad to see just someone kind of throw it away. And obviously there are a lot of other things going on.
It's a bit
Jacob here, but there's obviously there could be a lot going on in their lives for this to happen. But it's just so sad to watch someone at their peak be so unbelievably talented, and then it kind of just falls apart for them.
Oh, Jacob's putting on his Antonio Brown jersey.
Yeah, probably.
I could tell, but I don't know why stuff would be falling over.
Oh no, he might be putting on the shirt.
Oh god. Anyway,
I was up.
I don't know, but AB tweeted 50 minutes ago or 4 hours ago he wants to retire as a Steeler.
I know, and it's dude, you burned that bridge so badly.
Tomlin does not want him back.
Dude, the fact that Tomlin was able to keep him, Big Ben, and Le'Veon Bell together for the amount of time that they were together, it seems so toxic. But the fact that he was able to keep them in the same locker room for that long, honestly, give this man every single Coach of the Year award. Like,
Yeah,
forever.
it's
Like, that is amazing.
and at the time we never knew.
No one
but
knew.
like hindsight, like it just destroys us. It's
It
so
was supposed
funny.
to be this
Yeah.
year, just with
But no, it just
Antonio
like I said,
Brown.
like we said, and you
Weird
said,
one,
Peter, it's like an
just perfect.
oversimplified view
Couldn't
to
find
be
the
like,
shirt.
oh yeah, they got in their own
Um,
way because there's so many other issues they
yeah.
can be playing on,
You
whether
really
it's
do
just like
hate to see it.
mental health, CTE, like
But
not a
no,
good support system around them.
I really do
But-
appreciate Antonio Brown.
All
that,
that,
you
don't have it.
Cool
Okay.
Did you get attacked by a
times,
ghost or
yeah, in
something?
Pittsburgh, when he was really good. He had he was a very exciting player. I mean, he was
Called
very
it.
good.
Okay.
I hate to see it.
He did a lot more for the Steelers than I ever will do. I'm expecting. So, but I mean, he also just was so crazy. Like after he left,
The cool times.
and leading up to it. So, yeah, I would not want. I mean, I wouldn't want Antonio Brown back. Maybe if he had won a Super Bowl, for the team, but
Probably.
Never know.
yeah.
Well, I think the idea of like retiring as a Steeler would just be like getting a 1-day contract, but still like I don't know, like you said that bridge is burned, like just give it up. It always seems like it's football too, and I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is there, but like basketball, like this Rajon Rondo situation is like a little bit strange, but like it's not as common in basketball to like it's always something new with football. Like the Kareem Hunt situation wasn't long ago.
Oh, forgot about
Ray
that
Rice,
one.
Ray Rice was a big deal.
Yeah, like what?
Aaron Hernandez.
That was dude. Have you seen the doc about Aaron Hernandez?
No,
It's insane. Like I forget what he was like actually convicted for. I think it was like killing like 2 people.
Wow.
He might have killed like upwards of 10 people.
Yeah.
Like
classy.
it's insane. Like he probably didn't get convicted for a lot of
Yeah,
it, but
he
like he was
doubles out.
actually caught. Like at least there was evidence for like the 2 whatever. But it was like he
Mhm.
might have been like a legit serial killer while playing for the New England Patriots.
My man's was killing on and off the field.
Okay, there it is.
We're moving on
but,
from that one.
All right. Anyway.
That's how I cope.
Next, please, somebody find something to talk about.
Well, there was a little topic brought up
Pickleball.
from Raj before this, not pickleball, before this podcast about social media influencers and Raj, what was the word you used to describe them?
I forget what word did I use? Did I say
I'll pull-
like bozos? Like I don't remember what I said.
I don't think it was bozos, but
What?
So listen, I was at the gym, so I probably was saying something stupid. Honestly,
you said, yeah, we're just gonna make fun of social media influencers. So what are our thoughts on social media influencers? 'Cause I feel like they're very like there's very different sides of social media influencers.
I mean, when I was saying that, I was referring to like maybe like more of like the gym side of those influencers because like one thing I am not a gym influencer. I just have a
Watch
pre-workout.
20 on your bucked up.
Yeah,
Bucked
but
Up
please
order.
use watch20 on buckedup.com for 20% off your purchase of any pre-workout products you'd like.
Such a scumbag.
No, but like I was thinking about it because like over the years, like when I recently got into lifting and stuff, like I'm like looking at TikTok and stuff, and like before, like I will admit, like I see like influencers benching 225 like it's nothing, and like social media has made it to the point where it's like if you can't bench 225, you're just weak or something like that.
Isn't it like only 1% of people?
Yeah,
can
1% of
bench
people can
225 or
only
something
bench
like that?
that. And
Yeah.
it's just influencers and just people on social media have made it seem like it's like the bare minimum you should be doing.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that one, where it's like, I think this also kind of somewhat connects to what we were talking about a little bit, but like how, some influencers, well, they'll kind of like, they'll advertise as like they're just like the super strong person, whatever. And then someone figures out that they're on steroids, and then it's like their entire persona just completely falls apart. So it's like they're doing it to themselves. They're setting like these like really high expectations that everybody has of them. Because it's like, oh yeah, I'm just casually benching like 600 pounds for reps. And it's like, I don't think a normal person can do that. Like, I'm just gonna put that out there.
Mhm.
Like, don't get me wrong. You could be the like 0.0 like 30 zeros 1% exception to that, but I don't know. Like, I don't think that's really accurate. Then somebody does like some deep dive on them, and it's like, yeah, they're probably on steroids. So then it's like they have a choice to either double down and say, no, I'm not on steroids, and then just become irrelevant because no one wants to listen to them. Or they have to admit, yes, I have been taking steroids, and lying to every single person that's been following me and like trying to like take my advice seriously. It's like, how can I take your advice seriously if you've literally just been lying the whole time?
Yeah, and then like even on TikTok, like I will admit, like Peter knows JPG coaching.
Yeah.
Our God and Savior with the little lat pull down exercise. But basically, like, at first I watched his videos and I'm like, a little skeptical because I'm like, are these dudes' qualifications to like give out this advice? But then like, someone else called him out and he like gave his qualifications for everything. So like, if I watch his videos, like, I'll like give it a shot and try his workouts. But then you see these like, maybe like kids even our age act like they're like these big influencers. And then
we have a friend who's trying to make it big on this.
Yeah.
We're not gonna talk about it, but
yeah, you just watch 20 on Come, moving on. Another shameless plug. Moving on. I mean, like it's like seeing kids like our age like post like workouts and stuff that they just see other people doing, and they just like, do this workout if you want wings, or like if you want boulder shoulders, you just got to do this.
And it's like it's such an oversimplification, and like even where. Especially on JPG coaching, especially where people like see an exercise and he's like, oh, this is a good way to like isolate this muscle. And then under any other video of somebody doing any other exercise, these people are like, oh, that's not good because JPG said this, whatever. It's like, that's not what he's saying. Like, you're taking it completely out of context. It's like, here's a good exercise, and then they see anything else, and it's like, I know more than you. It's like, no, you don't. You sit there and watch TikToks. Like, it's not actual, like, you don't know enough about them. It's like JPG has like some crazy, like, I think he has like actual like background in like education on like sports something. I don't know.
Sports psychology,
yeah, something. Yeah. But because then there's guys like him, and then there's another one. It's like Noel something.
Yeah,
but he's
Noel.
like, the dude is like absolutely enormous, but he's like very, very open that he takes steroids, and he's like, yeah, you can't look like me unless you take steroids, and I don't recommend anybody does that. So it's like, so it's like you can kind of listen to him, where he's like, yeah, this is a good exercise. It's like, you're not gonna look like me by doing it because I took steroids, but this is still good. It's like, okay, that seems pretty valid there. Versus just
did he provide any reasonings why he took steroids?
Well, because so in bodybuilding especially, it's not really regulated. It's like there's like certain things you can and can't take, but it's like a very gray area type of thing. So like everybody's kind of just on steroids. So it's, or at least to a certain extent. So it's just like, it's especially when you get to like those like upper echelons, it's like everybody's on roids, and they're like pretty open about it because it's like, that's what you have to do to like even keep up. So it's like,
fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and like going along with that, like the one thing it does is it kind of makes like a toxic gym culture in a way where like people are lifting and like they're expecting results fast and to like look like that after like, even when JPG did his little lap pull down like video first, everyone started doing it at the gym, and like even I started it, Peter did too. Like everyone does it, and like I see, like, I remember at my home gym, I saw, like, these high schoolers trying to do it, and they're, like, expecting, like, these really cool results, and they're trying to do, like, a lat spread in the mirror. They're like, oh, my God, dude, it works so well.
One time, and they're like, yo, I can already see it. It's like, that's not how muscles work.
Yeah, and it just makes, like, an unnatural expectation for what, your body's going to look like after you do work out. I know there's some influencers that have been working out for maybe, like, 5+ years. It's like that's how they got that physique.
10. Like it's like a long time.
Yeah, and they get that physique either through like SARMs or like HGH or anything like that, or it's just because they've been working out for 10+ years.
Exactly.
And then it creates like a toxic culture overall in like the gym and everything of like, especially with like kids our age and like high schoolers. They think like
goblins.
Yeah, exactly. They think working out for 1 year, like, oh, it's not optimal enough. Do this.
Yeah, I think I think that just that sentiment is like spread out through like a lot of other things where it's like the gym culture through like social media has such become like a everyone wears gym sharks, everyone wears the cutoff shirts, everyone wears over the ear headphones while they're working out and carries around the shaker bottle that they put water in, even though that's not really what the point of a shaker bottle is.
You legitimately just called out me, Peter, and Andres in one sentence.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
take these
like-
over the ear headphones off real quick.
I'm gonna wear cutoffs.
So it like creates all this like these stereotypes, and then I feel like if you go into the gym and you're not like as a runner, like I walk into the gym like not dressed like as like a lifter, and I'm like, I'm really out of place here, aren't I? But like that's just part of like the social media, just like everyone like gets on board with it, and then suddenly you start to view other people as like what you're doing isn't right because you're not dressed properly. Like, oh, you clearly don't lift. Like you're wearing a long sleeve shirt in the gym. And it's like, maybe they just want to wear a long sleeve
See, I mean,
shirt.
clothing may be a stretch for some people. Like, personally, I don't care what you wear to the gym or anything, but, like, I don't know about
Oh, yeah,
others.
that's saying you, but yeah.
I know. But
Yeah.
I know there's definitely others out there who definitely, like, look at you and, like, be like, oh, you're not wearing Gymshark, you're not a real lifter.
I think
Something like that.
With that, it really comes down to like it's the gym culture that I feel like on social media, especially, it's like it's the loudest people at the gym, the ones that are either have some insecurities that they're trying to cover up by posting about it on social media a lot. People that think they know what they're talking about, like trying to do whatever. Those people have kind of like merged gym culture into like this weird sort of thing. Versus on like an individual level, like if you like ask anybody at the gym that like looks more experienced, like I guarantee you like 90% of the time they are not any of those gym assholes that are going to be like, oh, how do you not know what's going on here? Like there
You don't
is
know what an
nothing-
RDL is?
Exactly. There is nothing more that an actual like person, someone that goes to the gym would love to teach you how to do stuff, because that's like actual gym rats like me and Raj love helping people and like having people do stuff properly. Like whenever Jacob comes with us to the gym, we're trying to turn him into a Greek god by the end of this summer. Why? Because we want more gym rats in the gym. Because remember, ape strong together. That was season.
Exactly.
The more gym rats we have, the more we collectively get stronger.
The more profit I make from my discount code.
Justin,
Use watch 20 for 20%
how
off.
much you can like
This is my serious.
I'm not censoring. That's a free plug.
Exactly. Come on.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, that's like my take on it, because like at least like the most of the time whenever I'm at the gym, like I am that guy with the cutoff, with the over the head like headphones, whatever, with everything. But like I have noticed at times it's like when someone's like struggling with something, like I will literally just go up and ask like, hey, do you need help with this? And it usually like it catches them off guard a little bit, but it's like once you just start like talking to somebody, it's like no, like I literally just want to help. Like that's like it's no issue with that. It's like I just want to make sure you're doing it right, so that way you get like the right form, so you don't hurt yourself. You actually get like the best out of the exercise. And it's like that culture I feel like needs to be pushed a lot more. And I have seen there are some influencers
on
that are
TikTok,
doing it, but it's definitely not as much as it should.
The one
be.
guy who's
The
like
one bald
shaking his
dude.
phone. No, the one dude
that
shaking
guy-
his phone.
Yes, the dude shaking
Like,
his phone.
Every now and then he'll have a
Yes.
video where it's like gets sentimental.
Yes, there's
So
that
he
guy.
does
And
that.
there's the one bald dude. That's always it's like a stitch of like someone
Yeah.
making fun of somebody at the gym, and then it's just like this absolutely shredded dude who's like, "You need to be better. Like you need
Yes.
to be lifting people up at the gym. If you know what's good, you need to be able to tell them that." It's so
You
funny,
sound- you
but
literally
it's like
just
it's
sounded
so
like-
genuine too.
And then there's a third guy. What he does is he like kind of does an exercise with incorrect form, and then like cuts
he
him
like
shaking his
shows you how to
head.
do it properly.
He like
yeah.
it cuts him shaking his head with like a sound over, and then it goes back to like how to
Yeah,
properly do it, which
yeah.
is like that's the kind of like thing you need for like especially
Exactly.
lifting TikTok, like showing how to do it right, not like shaming anyone. Because I remember like I see videos of like people recording their sets, and like someone would be like, "Oh my god, this person walked in front of me during my set. He's such a perv," or something like that. Or they would do something like that, and like that this guy you're talking about, the bald dude, who would like shut him down, like
Yeah,
because
it's just about like just making the gym more accessible.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like
Yeah.
it's not. It
it's
shouldn't
like
be this
it's
scary.
kind of
thing.
like gatekeeped in a way.
Yeah, it's true. It's like it shouldn't be this scary thing. It should just be like, hey, like if you want to make yourself better, come to the gym. I don't care how much you're lifting. as long as you're doing it safely and like you're doing it in the way that you think is the best for you, go for it.
Just like sex.
Ding ding. Oh.
Hey yo! And on that note,
Moving on.
That's all I could think about when you were saying that. I was like, that sounds like a lot like what they tell you in health sex education.
why is that where your mind
You're
went?
gonna be
Because you were like, as long as you do it safely.
So just to be clear, this is getting cut out.
You know what? Sure, let's go with that.
Wow.
No,
This is not
no.
getting cut out. This is
Can this please be
Have
So-
safe sex.
Let's
This
title this episode "The Birds and the Bees of Safe Sex" and call it a day.
No.
This part has to
Dude,
be
the amount
part
of views we'll get for that.
We need to end this podcast right now.
We will get clicks.
Oh my god,
Dude, that would be amazing.
Can we just do a hard cut and just be done with the episode?
No, but on your guys' note, like there is those social media people that are like super like niche and just like, yeah, this is the way to do it. But then there's also like this side that's like overly positive that I see a lot, where I'm just like,
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know, like they're just doing a whole lot to like be like they're like, oh, you can't like I don't know. There's just a very positive side to social media sometimes where I'm like, I think it's a little over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what to put my finger on it, but I'm like, I don't know if everything is that sunshine and rainbows. Like the situation I'm in right now just kind of sucks. So I don't need to hear that it's all right.
Oh, it's
Very fair. Very fair.
Do we got anything else for this episode of the podcast?
I literally cannot think of anything else because you completely derailed any
Yeah.
thought that I was ever going to have.
Some other people who watch this podcast and they're going to be
There
thinking
is
the
no
exact-
way that is the
Bro.
first thing you thought of.
Bro, listen to the back. Like listen to it back.
Use context
Exact-
clues. We were talking about the gym.
I know you were talking about the
Well,
gym.
think about it.
I
like-
mean, I guess you can associate cardio with it, but like, you do you.
Oh my god, end this episode right now.
I'm not
I think you should
associating
watch
cardio with anything. I was saying
You know,
that
they're
what
gonna,
Peter
they're
was
gonna
saying.
hear
And
this crazy
the
clip and they're gonna
episode
go,
similar.
now.
Where does this happen in the video? I did the context. And they're gonna listen to the whole video.
God. Can we please just hard cut and just like don't even end the episode properly? Just done. We're done. Goodbye.
And on that note, we will end the 16th episode of the Washed Athlete Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed hearing all about sports today. Pretty much just the main theme of the episode. Like I said, drop a review, use code SWAT20 at Fucked Up, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Adios.
Go Kenny Pickett.